In this video, I'm going to look at the DJI Osmo Mobile 3 and the Zhiyun Smooth Q2. They're both popular, small and portable 3-axis gimbals. My feeling is that the Zhiyun is going to come out on top, but let's see how they do. Oscar-winning Steven Soderbergh shot a feature film with his iPhone and a DJI Osmo gimbal, and it's on Netflix. So, is the Osmo Mobile 3 as good, or even better? I've used the original Zhiyun Smooth Q to shoot a sci-fi series, which is now on Amazon Prime. Was I right to switch to the latest Smooth Q? Is it an upgrade or a downgrade? Maybe it's a side grade. The Zhiyun looks and feels more solid. My immediate feeling is that the Smooth Q2 is a more serious device. When you hold it in your hand, it feels much more solid. You can feel that it's made of metal, whereas the Osmo Mobile 3 is definitely plastic. Having said that, the DJI sits more comfortably in your hand as it has more of a pistol grip shape, whereas the Smooth Q2 has a basic cylinder shape. Also, the Smooth Q2 handle is slightly smaller, so for me, it feels like it's not quite big enough. This gimbal might be more suited to smaller hands. I really like a piece of kit if it's easy to get started and you don't have to spend hours of your life hunting the internet for answers to problems. So I was curious to find out which of these gimbals gives you an easier ride. Which one will walk us through the basics better so we can start being creative quicker. The DJI Osmo Mobile 3 somehow seemed a little bit clearer. The DJI Mimo app certainly takes you through the setup step by step, whereas the Zhiyun Play app leaves you to work things out for yourself a little bit. Both gimbals are easy when it comes to mounting your device. It's pretty simple to get your phone in and out of the clamp. The Smooth Q2 also has a quick release system, which is supposed to make it quicker to grab your phone should you need to, although I think it's quicker just to remove your phone from the clamp than to use the quick release. That said, the quick release should mean you can remove and replace your phone without having to rebalance it. Neither have a side clamp, which means to balance your smartphone, you simply slide it left and right until it's about level. I found this to be easier with the DJI compared to the Zhiyun. On the other hand, the Smooth Q2 grip is more adaptable to larger devices, and the teeth of the grip are enough to accommodate your phone inside a case. Both gimbals have been shrunk down. DJI has gone for a folding system, while Zhiyun claims theirs can fit into your pocket without folding. Having said that, I'm not sure I'd feel too comfortable with the Smooth Q2 in my pocket, even if I could squeeze it in. That would surely start to chaff after a few minutes. Anyway, the point being, these gimbals are a lot smaller than their previous models. Certainly, they would slip easy into a bag or backpack. The DJI gimbal weighs 405 grams, which is just over 14 ounces. Meanwhile, the Zhiyun weighs 430 grams, so only a little bit more. The maximum weight a gimbal can carry isn't a line you should never cross. However, it is a good indication of the strength of the motors, and stronger motors means the gimbal can handle heavier phones, with case and lens attached, with less wear on the motors. So what about adding lenses, filters, or maybe even a microphone to your setup? How will the motors of these gimbals deal with the extra weight? I tested both gimbals with a newer variable ND filter and clip, and then with a Moondog Labs anamorphic and clip. Both of the gimbals were able to handle the weight. However, the Zhiyun did this when I tried to add this clip while it was switched on, whereas the DJI was quite calm throughout the whole test. Both these gimbals are heavily aimed at smartphone filmmakers on the move, vlogging, social media content, and travel videos being the main focus. So, switching easily between portrait and landscape can be pretty useful. So how do they compare? The DJI actually switches really easily, just a couple of taps. But to switch using the Smooth Q2, you have to do this.
The neat trick for Smooth Q2 is the new portrait mode. To enter into portrait mode, just rotate the whole setup to either the right or the left.
To the left. Yep. And then. Yeah. Okay. Oh.
So, not really switching, is it? Are you really going to walk along like that? After 30 seconds, your arm is going to be in pain. So, a bit of a fail there for the Smooth Q2. While the DJI app has a feature called Active Track, the Zhiyun has the same feature, but it's called Smart Follow. The Zhiyun Smooth Q2 does not have the gesture control that the DJI Mimo app has. This allows you to take a picture or start a video recording just by making a sign with your hand. Plus, in the DJI app, the gesture control and Active Track combine for quite a powerful feature. This is something I found quite useful if you're trying to record yourself. You can simply make a gesture and the app locks on and starts tracking you. With the Smooth Q2, you have to use the selfie camera, which is most likely not your phone's best quality camera. The Zhiyun camera app uses the word recording when in video mode, before you've even started recording. So at first I thought I'd hit the record button accidentally and it was recording. Like I say, just a small thing, but using the word record there would save confusion. One major plus for the Zhiyun Play app, it has manual mode, which gives you some control over settings. You can set and lock ISO, shutter speed, white balance, focus and zoom. However, this is a separate mode to the mode which allows tracking, so you can't have both. Both the DJI and Zhiyun apps allow you to set resolution and frame rate, so there's no real difference there. The DJI Mimo app also has story mode, which I at first thought was going to be a bit of a gimmick, but once I started using it, I really had fun with it. As I said in my tutorial on the DJI Osmo Mobile 3, this could also be a great tool for learning filmmaking. The plus side for the Zhiyun app is the amount of fine adjusting you can do if you want to dive into the settings. So if you're someone who likes tweaking and adjusting things and generally customizing, then the Q2 could be more to your liking than the Mobile 3. Personally, I've never had a gimbal run out of power on me. I don't tend to spend the whole day using one, and they're easy to quickly recharge. But is there a dramatic difference between the DJI and Zhiyun rivals? The answer is no, not really. The Mobile 3 gives you 15 hours and the Q2 gives you 17. One thing about the Smooth Q2 is that you can actually remove the battery and replace it. So should the battery reach the end of its life, your gimbal can live on afterwards. One major issue with using a smartphone gimbal has been the front motor appearing in shot when using a wide-angle lens. And this is one area where DJI gets an advantage. The Osmo Mobile 3 has been designed with the motor close to the phone out of shot. On the other hand, the Smooth Q2 has the old design with the motor a few centimeters in front, which means it will get into shots when using added or inbuilt wide lenses. One solution is to hold the gimbal handle at an angle so the front motor drops down out of shot. But that is a bit of a restriction to the operation of the gimbal, so it's not the perfect solution. Now, this is great for us wide-angle and anamorphic lens users, but when you come to swing the gimbal down for a low shot, this becomes a little trickier with the DJI. Instead of simply tilting down, you have to kind of swing down and twist to the side. So that's not as smooth, but you can get used to it with some practice. I've been using my original Zhiyun Smooth Q for 2 years, and I've had great experiences, and on the surface, the Smooth Q2 looked like it was going to be the more pro of these two gimbals. However, at least in the experience I've had so far, the DJI is easier to set up and get started, and generally it's actually more reliable. I find it to be easier to use, more intuitive, and more fun somehow. Plus it also doesn't have the issue with the gimbal motor appearing in the shot. Things like active track just work better, and there's the added bonus of gesture control and story mode. I mean, I think you'd get tired of story mode after a while, but as a feature to get you started shooting little sequences, I think it's actually pretty cool. So overall, I'd probably, if I had to opt for one of these gimbals and only choose one instead of having both, I think I would probably go for the DJI Osmo Mobile 3, which is a bit of a shock to me because I really had it in my mind that the Zhiyun Q2 was going to be the one. But there you go. That's good to test things out because you find out how things really work. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.